Ever feel like you're wrestling with your own thoughts, stuck in a loop about what's been or what's to come? What if I told you that your entire understanding of yourself and even the world around you might be based on a captivating misunderstanding? Stay with us, because we're about to unpack some ideas that could fundamentally change your outlook. Welcome. Get ready to explore some profound ancient wisdom. But don't worry, this isn't going to be a stuffy lecture. Imagine it more like unlocking a few mind-bending psychological and philosophical secrets, ones that could truly reshape your entire worldview. We're diving deep into three cornerstone Buddhist concepts: impermanence, no-self, and dependent origination. These are far from ancient relics. They are potent, practical tools designed to help you shift your perspective, cultivate more inner calm, and perhaps discover a greater sense of freedom in your everyday life. So, are you prepared to see yourself and the world through a completely fresh lens? Section 1. Impermanence, anicca. First up is impermanence, also known in Pali as anicca. So what's the essence of this idea? Simply put, everything is in a constant state of flux, and I truly mean everything. Nothing stays fixed, not your thoughts, not your emotions, not your relationships, not the world outside your window, not even seemingly eternal mountains or vast oceans. Everything arises, changes, and eventually passes away. Take a moment to reflect on your own life, that incredible high you felt last week, or that overwhelming frustration from yesterday. Where are they now? Most likely they've softened, transformed, or perhaps even disappeared entirely, right? Seasons cycle, relationships evolve, our bodies age. Now, acknowledging this constant change isn't about adopting a gloomy outlook. It's about embracing reality as it is. When this understanding truly lands, it revolutionizes how we navigate change, loss, and life's inevitable setbacks. Instead of desperately clinging to the good times or fiercely resisting the bad, we can cultivate resilience and significantly reduce our own suffering. Remembering the age-old wisdom, "This too shall pass," for both the wonderful and the challenging moments, helps us develop patience and appreciate the bigger picture. Philosophically, impermanence challenges our deep-seated desire for things to remain static. Buddhism highlights that a substantial portion of our unhappiness stems from this very attachment to things as if they were permanent. If your happiness depends on something never, ever changing, you're essentially setting yourself up for disappointment. Wouldn't you agree? But what if instead you leaned into the current of impermanence? You could actually savor the present moment even more, fully aware of its precious and fleeting nature. This empowers you to release the past and greet the present with openness. This isn't merely about enduring change. It's about recognizing that change is the fundamental nature of existence. This shift in perspective can lead you to appreciate today with newfound intensity and build profound inner strength.
Section 2. No self, anatta. All right, are you ready for a concept that might just blow your mind? Next, we explore no self, or anatta. This principle suggests that there's no permanent, unchanging independentism or soul at our core. What we identify as ourself is actually more like an ever-evolving combination of elements: our physical body, our feelings, our perceptions, our mental formations, and our consciousness. Try to picture yourself not as a fixed, solid statue, but as a flowing river, constantly being replenished with new water, never exactly the same from one moment to the next. So, how does this no-self idea manifest in our daily lives? It can be incredibly liberating. If there's no rigid self to constantly defend, we might find ourselves less disturbed by criticism, and perhaps even less attached to praise. Think about it. Those ego-driven arguments, that persistent need to be right or to maintain a certain image, they begin to lose their grip. Imagine the sheer amount of stress that could simply dissolve if you weren't perpetually trying to protect some idealized, unchanging version of you. This perspective can foster greater humility, significantly more flexibility, and a much deeper, more authentic connection with others, as we start to see everyone as part of this same fluid, interconnected dance, rather than as separate, static entities. From a philosophical standpoint, anatta radically reconfigures the traditional notion of an eternal soul or a fixed, personal essence. And it links directly back to impermanence. If everything is constantly changing, then this self must also be in a state of continuous transformation, right? When you begin to view the self as more of a temporary designation for a collection of components interacting for a period, the ego's tenacious hold can genuinely loosen, thereby alleviating the suffering that arises from clinging to a fixed identity. This doesn't mean you cease to exist or vanish into nothingness. It simply means that you are not a static object, but rather a remarkable ongoing process. Shifting your viewpoint in this way can pacify those profound "who am I?" anxieties and liberate you from the relentless pressure to prove yourself. Section 3. Dependent Origination. Paticca Samuppada. Last, but by no means least, let's unpack the concept of dependent origination, or Paticca Samuppada. This illuminating principle reveals how everything is profoundly interconnected and how all phenomena arise in dependence upon other phenomena. Simply stated, nothing springs into existence independently. Everything that is exists because of a vast, intricate network of causes and conditions. Every single thought, every emotion, every event, it's all interwoven into this immense, complex web where everything relies on everything else. What does this mean for us in our day-to-day experience? Well, it can completely transform how we perceive our actions and their subsequent impact. If everything is interconnected, then our thoughts, words, and deeds send out ripples that extend far beyond our immediate awareness. This understanding naturally cultivates a greater sense of responsibility, doesn't it? It also helps to significantly reduce our tendency to play the blame game, both with ourselves and with others. When we truly grasp that someone's actions are the result of countless preceding factors, their upbringing, their experiences, societal influences, and so on, it becomes much easier to respond with empathy and compassion rather than with immediate judgment. Philosophically, dependent origination offers a middle way, skillfully navigating between extreme views, such as the idea that things are permanent and separate entities, or the nihilistic belief that nothing truly exists. It is, in fact, the very foundation for understanding both impermanence and no self. Because everything, including our perceived self, arises due to other conditioning factors, it follows that these phenomena lack an independent, unchanging essence. They are undeniably real, yet their reality is contingent upon and relative to everything else. Grasping this deep interconnectedness can genuinely shift our perspective from a predominantly centric viewpoint to recognizing our integral place within the vast, wondrous tapestry of existence. This understanding can help us cultivate wisdom and interact with the world with far greater compassion. Wow, those are some truly profound ideas, aren't they? And they often begin to resonate most deeply when you take a moment to observe them playing out in your own life. if any of this sparked something within you, or if you have your own insights on how these concepts can shift our perspectives, please, we wholeheartedly invite you to share them in the comments below. We would absolutely love to hear your thoughts. And hey, if this exploration resonated with you, giving that like button a click would be fantastic. And consider subscribing for more discussions about ideas that really make you think and expand your horizons. So, there you have it. Impermanence, no self, and dependent origination. These are not merely abstract philosophical concepts relegated to ancient texts. They are dynamic, living truths that possess the power to fundamentally transform how we experience our lives. When we allow ourselves to truly internalize the ever-changing nature of reality, the fluid essence of ourself, and the profound interconnectedness of all things, we can begin to unravel the very roots of our struggles and suffering. This journey isn't about striving to become an entirely different person. It's more akin to discovering who you already are once you gently pull back the curtain of everyday perception. So, how do you envision these ideas manifesting in your daily life, in your interactions, in your quiet reflections? And how might that begin to shift your entire perspective? This path of insight is an ongoing adventure, and the most profound discoveries are often those waiting just beneath the surface, ready for you to uncover.